If I told you that the most absurd Hollywood rumors were true, and that Diddy's secret parties were finally made public, would you believe me? They're talking about politicians and celebrities, red-lit rooms, secret footage breaking non-disclosure agreements, and a name so powerful it may bring down the whole system. Not only is it a rumor now, but it's a reckoning, and to make matters even more ridiculous, they claim to have receipts. Pay closely because what's about to happen has the power to alter everything. Chrisean Rock and Jason Lee just revealed the specifics of the truthquake that shook the internet just a few seconds ago. These were A-list stars, chart-topping performers, Hollywood heavyweights, and influential executives, many of whom have denied ever setting foot in such establishments. And we are not talking about lesser-known celebrities here. Nevertheless, Chrissy and Jason were ready to disclose it from the very first words Jason said. They were only the unfiltered reports of to witnesses who felt and saw it, and who are now naming people that many thought could never be linked to those rumors. There were no mysterious hints or mysteries. If you thought the tales about Diddy's parties were weird before, you haven't heard about the famous red-lit chambers until now. Until Jason and Chrisean offered an alternative. One individual you would know from the Grammy stage had repeatedly denied any link. Diddy has not responded, and screenshots are flooding Twitter. It felt like a duty even if it was just an interview. When Chrisean revealed things that obviously surprised even the presenter, he grew enraged and aggressive, perhaps being too honest for some. Private jets, strict non-disclosure agreements, and rumors of things more cinematic than real are all possibilities. Contracts, loyalty, and fear kept what happened inside those walls secret for years. But things have changed in 2024. You've undoubtedly heard tales about Diddy's secret parties throughout the past 20 years. Regardless of your interest in hip-hop, celebrity culture, or even just the news, those weren't your typical Hollywood parties, complete with velvet ropes and champagne smiles. A slew of lawsuits, leaks, and mysterious online posts have brought the man who was once acclaimed hip-hop's ultimate host back into the spotlight. Prior to Chrisean Rock and Jason Lee, no one had ever said, "On record, I was there, I saw it, and I know who else was too," even though his name is unknown. His effect is definitely identifiable. He is at the intersection of controversial and viral media as a creator of Hollywood Unlocked, breaking big news, posing with Beyoncé, interviewing Kanye, and getting access to the most influential people in the industry. Since Jason doesn't edit for comfort and works in circles, everyone knew something big was about to happen when he abruptly began talking about Diddy's parties during an otherwise routine interview. Short stories soon turned into something much more explosive, including whispered references to a mysterious vault room that had no right to exist, much less be spoken of. Then came Chrisean Rock, who, let's face it, lacks self-control. She's raucous, feisty, and one of the most well-liked women in hip-hop at the moment because of her turbulent relationship with fans. Have assumed that Blueface has attended several Diddy parties since she left clues and deleted tweets, went live with strange comments, and dropped cryptic lyrics. She's checking all of this and more right now. She laughed when asked who else was there and said, "Y'all aren't even ready for that." However, the phones were quickly taken away. Jason began acting quite differently. And I'll tell you who it was. He leaned in. According to a widely spreading theory, they are sick of standing up for people who wouldn't stand up for them. There is no culture without accountability, as Jason previously stated in the interview. Therefore, if I am blackballed for speaking the truth, so be it. But Jason has previously stated that he has been true to our tradition by keeping stories to himself. There was a cold silence in the room as the host gasped for air. Why would Jason Lee start naming names when relationships are the foundation of his entire entertainment career? At first, it was just another interview between Chrisean Rock and Chrisean Lee, but it quickly took a different turn. They started to enumerate persons, but they stopped when they came across one in particular. Jason shook his head as Chrisean held onto the microphone. For their part, they commented, "That's Terry, the family man, the one who said he didn't party like that anymore." Chrisean wasn't holding back either. Her comments were harsh. "So why should I protect them? You really want to know who we saw at that party?" she said. At 11 p.m., Terry Crews, Terry from Empire Chrisean, walked into the red room and laughed. Just the phrase caused TikTok to go into overdrive, with videos of Terry turning down invitations to parties reappearing with Chrisean and Jason's amusement. Then came the twist of a 12-second blurry video that was leaked online, showing two men, one in all white, the other bald and muscular in shades, with the caption, "Tell me that's not Terry and Diddy at the March party in Miami." The video was removed abruptly after receiving 2 million views, citing legal letters as the reason. Follow no names. But the connotation was obvious. Jason went on Instagram Live because he didn't have it and Terry's staff wanted it removed. Don't be upset just yet, cute. A second phone was then surreptitiously brought in and concealed in Chrisean's bra, allowing the bombshell to capture moments, voice memos, and even images of the red-lit room. I followed their instructions and locked my phone. The internet got insane, and all of a sudden, receipts were used instead of just words. A rapper erased his 2020 to Instagram account, and a list of celebs started to panic. A Hollywood actress canceled a podcast appearance owing to scheduling conflicts. The artist removed her comments. Jason's subsequent tweet said, "We haven't even started." And 2 days later, Jason was decomposed. The statement that surprised me the most was that he never shows up alone, always claps at award events, and always smiles. Will and Jada were enlightened by the comments, but the hints all went to the same conclusion. He said they weren't acting. When I saw them at that party, they had been there before. Chrisean was by his side and she was barefoot, walking about, as though she owned the place. It appeared like Jada had never left that world, even though I had seen old recordings of her saying she had grown out of it. Jada's attorneys denied to TMZ within hours that she had not gone to any parties held by Sean Combs. In the previous years, people noticed the wording, but it was too late because Jason and Chrisean were just starting to know one another, and the internet had already concluded that something significant was about to happen. The claim she made is wholly untrue. Reddit didn't miss a beat, defining recent as 2023 rather than 2019. Jada's crew responded by refuting the party allegations. Then, everything changed. But I'm under pressure now. Will Smith's name became popular again after a voice memo was published. The recording was purportedly from a former Zeus Network reality star and was emotional and somewhat accented. According to the woman, "I went to that party with a friend from the label, and I saw so many people that I couldn't believe. But the craziest moment was when Will Smith walked past me without saying a word, just went down the hallway with 2 people, and then security closed the curtain, deleted. But not before TikTok users downloaded, reposted, and remixed it." She said that her voice sounded like that of a love and hip-hop album, but nobody checked it. The story continued with Chrisean's earlier description of the red hallway, and all of a sudden Diddy's regular fans stopped talking. Artists signed to his label stopped interviewing influencers. Famous partygoers cleaned their social media, and even a theory that everyone was afraid started to circulate. Jason then shared another post, this time on Instagram stories with 2 slides. "You don't get in unless someone vouch for you, and once you're in, you don't leave unless you're okay with what you saw," a slide read. "There's one name we're still debating whether to say. When we do, it will make everything else seem like a warm-up. No names, no teasing, just gut-wrenching silence," the other person remarked. There was a lot of conjecture on the internet about who could outsmart Will, Jada, Oprah, and Beyonce. The hashtags #S flooded feeds, and #BelieveJ, and #ThisAIN single quotes TP roof were used to divide the public's response. Supporters contended that Jason had too much to lose to take the chance of making this up. "Where's the proof that you guys trust Chrisean G?" Critics reply. Everyone understood that if Jason and Chrisean revealed another name, Hollywood wouldn't simply shake it at cave-in. But what really set the storm apart was that it was more than just rumors. 2 well-known people were on camera making fun of receipts and challenging anyone to stop them. Then things became serious. Although it's no longer whispering, real journalists joined the hunt at BuzzFeed and blogged about Diddy's parties on the Whisper Network. The VIP lists are no longer talked about, and Rolling Stone operated Hollywood's worst-kept secret. After analyzing every tape and releasing a chronology that includes thumbnailed lists of possible guests and slow zoom analysis of celebrity facial expressions during previous interviews, Vulture came to the conclusion that there were too many coincidences. Influencers deleted their Instagram stories. A well-known actress who was rumored to be a member of the Red Room Circle postponed the launch of her podcast without providing an explanation. A popular rapper shut down Twitter an hour after Jason's Instagram Live. Tiffany Haddies predictably liked a tweet that said, "Jason speaking on what we've all been scared to say." She liked it 30 minutes later. But the internet doesn't forget, and the comments section saw people stop arguing and instead watch a house of cards. Megan Good contributed fuel by posting a dark square with the comment, "Let that marinate." Silence can also be interpreted as pressure. "I told y'all back in January," and you laugh. Now Jason says it and everyone's shocked. You think these parties don't have layers? The same people that sign your checks have been in that room too. Williams joined the conversation in an unexpected Instagram Live, but there were no names or tags. But the message was clear, and in a twist, no one expected it. The comment section notified us all, and it became viral. He called him crazy and then added, "The truth isn't loud, but when it shows up, don't whisper." There was worry over what hadn't been spoken as well as what had been stated. A third witness A former Diddy staffer was allegedly talking to a well-known podcast. This time, the documentation would specifically specify identities rather than implying them. Just as it appeared like Jason and Chrisean had used up the entire clip, another name more significant than anyone could have imagined fell softly at 2:07 a.m. But the impact was significant. The world waited for Jason and Chrisean to say that final name rather than for a lawsuit or Diddy's response. Because what they were hiding from the world was going to blow it all apart. An anonymous post with a single, silent statement, no emoticons, and no controversy was highlighted in our Industry Leaks thread on Reddit. Everyone was interested in the two, but no one was interested in the politician who was there in 2021. Wait, a sitting politician. They're putting their lives in danger now that the comments have gone viral. Follow up, he has been in the Red Room. And he is not only well-known but also strong. The name that kept popping up in the sea of wild rumors on the internet was that of a progressive senator who was seen with Diddy on red carpets and at Hollywood fundraisers. By 3 in the morning, when Jason and Chrisean unexpectedly attacked again, the senator was in the news. They all included the same enigmatic video to their testimonies, complete with the spooky, grim, and grainy music. The explanation from Jason is, "I said we weren't done." It all halted when Chrisean remarked, "I said I had footage." And 3 scary words emerged as a video cut to black. We're naming names, no date, no platform, just tension. In the background, a blurred figure walks along a red glowing hallway. If this was true, the news would have spread to politics in addition to celebrities, demonstrating the system's corruption outside of Hollywood. What follows could put security clearances and non-disclosure agreements in jeopardy after an anonymous Hollywood lawyer made a comment on LinkedIn, of all places. "We're going to visit you soon because we've held the truth for too long. Not because we wanted money or power, but because you weren't ready." Jason then posted one last Instagram story that had no sound, white writing, and a black background. The industry is quivering behind the velvet curtains of fame, power, and glitz. This wasn't entertainment anymore. It was exposure as Jason and Chrisean vanished from the public eye once again. This might be the opening of an entire society, not just Hollywood, but the institutions that support it, the doors we weren't meant to knock on, and the rooms we believed were safe. We've seen scandals before, and we've seen superstars fall from grace. Who else was there? If the video is authentic, is the one question that still reverberates through the quiet like smoke in a confined room? No. Contract, no PR gimmick, and no carefully cultivated image can protect them if those grainy frames of shadowy figures in red-lit passageways prove to be who people think they are. The silence from the people we expected to speak A-list celebrities with impeccable appearances, producers who established their reputations on social media, and NDA letters with blood signatures is the most audible aspect of this entire unraveling process. In actuality, individuals always knew that the industry didn't function without whispers. Thus, it was never meant for us to enter. However, there is now proof that Jason and Chrisean are in possession of it. What if Chrisean and Jason are the damned in the crack? If their story is true, then everything is different. It's about systemic protection, wealth-driven secrecy, and the price of remaining relevant in a machine that consumes people, which brings us to the name that everyone is talking about, Diddy. This isn't just another celebrity feud. This isn't a clarification, a denial, or even a well-placed Instagram live to divert attention from the issue. Moguls who were formerly justice advocates are behaving as though this is just another fleeting viral moment. We're asking you, who do you believe was in the Red Room in the digital era? Silence is more potent than words, leading you to wonder what's being negotiated behind the scenes and what's being protected. Are Jason and Chrisean just pawns in a bigger game that they don't completely comprehend? Or do you think they were present? Is this just another form of control? Or is it really about justice? Post your hypotheses, conjectures, and receipts in the space provided for comments below. No concept is too broad or viewpoint too crazy, as the upcoming video can include if you're prepared for the drop. Hit subscribe and enable notifications because the video will not be a whisper. When it appears on the timeline, it will be a huge hit. Click like since your comment is your theory and your hint.